Hi, welcome to Being Micah and thanks for joining me for today's video on training DIY. This video is going to be some quick tips on how to tailor-make your skill sets, tailor-make your resume and also tailor-make your training to suit you and to suit what you want to do. This video is inspired by something one of my drama coaches said back in the UK, and it's a really good piece of advice, and it was drama school is not for everybody. Nor does everybody need to go to drama school. If you want to go to drama school, that's fantastic. They are great places to go to if you're lucky enough to get in and also afford to go into it. But at the same time, drama school isn't for everybody, and a lot of the big names and a lot of the big actors haven't had some kind of formal training behind them. And what he said was, if you don't go to drama school, what you can do is you can tailor-make a drama school to fit you. You can tailor-make a career, tailor-make all the skill sets, all the things that you want to do, and tailor-make your resume. So even though you're not going to drama school, you're still training and you're tailor-making that training to fit you specifically, which gives you more flexibility and it can be more fun and it gives you control of everything that you want to do. So one of the first steps in tailor-making your training is to figure out which kind of classes to do. Because at the end of the day, if you are tailor-making your training, you are required to take classes. There is going to be training involved, there is going to be work involved, and there is going to be studying involved. So the first kind of aspect is to think about which classes to take. Now there are different kind of classes that you can take. There are classes that you can take which are specifically for acting, and there are classes that you can take specifically which are for non-acting, just to develop and learn other skills to give yourself that extra edge. I want to talk first about the extra skills that you can do which are not acting related. For example, one is a martial arts. Doing martial arts and training yourself in martial arts gives you that extra movability, extra flexibility, and you never know when that might be in question or when it might be needed. You might be called on to do something that requires you to have that experience. Or even when you're doing other physical activities like parkour, you never know when you might be required to audition or do a character who has skill sets and is able to do parkour, is flexible in doing that. And if you have parkour training, that makes you perfect for the job. At least that step forward compared to other people. Another one is ballet. People do ballet when they're at drama school, and also it's great for flexibility, it's great for developing strength in your body. So even something like that, if you're interested in ballet, you never know when that can sort of make you stand in front of other people and give you that extra edge for other people who haven't done it. And there are other sort of skill sets, other things that you can do as well. For example, going to yoga classes. Yoga is an awesome way to kind of control your breathing and get yourself centered and grounded, and also develop that flexibility and peace of mind that you kind of do need. One of my current drama coaches said that she used to take yoga classes and she loved it so much and she enjoyed it, and she found it had a direct impact and a positive effect on every time that she used to go to auditions and every time she used to go on sets, because she was able to keep her breathing going as it should be and relax herself and calm her body down consciously. Because a lot of the times when you are on set or when you are auditioning, you do get nervous and you do involuntarily tense up, and you don't mean to. Your breathing accelerates and you don't really know and you don't always realize it. But yoga allows you that self-awareness. It allows you to step outside of yourself and consciously, when you know your body and when you know your breathing is accelerating, to consciously slow that down, consciously relax yourself and get yourself out of that sort of nervous mode into that more relaxed, centered and grounded role, and you're then able to just concentrate more on that audition and concentrate more on that role. So yoga is also something that you can do, which is great as well, and it does have a positive effect and a direct impact on when you're on sets or when you're auditioning as well. Another class you can take, for example, is fencing. Fencing is great for when you're doing stage combat, for example, mainly for theatre or other things, but it does help you kind of get that extra edge over other people who maybe don't have it. And fencing is interesting, it looks kind of cool. I had a flatmate once who did do fencing and it did look really good. And again, there's a lot of actors who do fencing because again it comes into handy when they are doing their stage combat, when they are doing on-seat fights, it always does kind of give you that extra edge, extra flexibility, that extra kick. And then you've got other skills that you can pick up in terms of classes, or it can just be on your own, whether it be sports, whether it be badminton or tennis or swimming or soccer or football, whatever you want to call it, or anything like that, horse riding as well. These are great sports that not only keep you active and keep you fit, but they also give you that edge because these are all special skills that you can list under your resume that you never know when a character is required to be a sports kind of person or a jock or something like that, and you've got those skill sets. You know what, you are a tennis player or you have done horse riding, and those can come into it can come into handy. So a lot of these sort of non-acting related classes or non-acting related skills, even if they are general sports, can come into handy because they do keep you healthy, keep you fit, keep you active, and also give you that edge over other people, especially when a role is required for you to be athletic, or sort of have those specific ones as well. And even dance as well, that's something that you can do, whether it be contemporary dance or hip-hop dancing or classical dancing or ballet like we've just mentioned. You never know when a role may be coming up that requires you to kind of have those skill sets, either directly or even indirectly, where your body's now, you know, flexible enough to kind of do the role that needs to be done. It's great to do that. Then there are other classes that you can do specifically for acting, and I think these are the ones that mainly we think about when we think about I need to take a class, so I need to do training. And when you're tailor making your DIY training, this is fantastic because it gives you the flexibility and the opportunity to focus in and zone in on those things that you kind of feel that maybe you're weak at, maybe your weaknesses are there, you're not as strong as you'd like to be, and you can work on those as well. You can sort of build on what you are strong at and get better at those, and also things that you aren't so good at. If you can evaluate and just pinpoint where that is, you can zone in and focus on those to improve and get better, to become your stronger points. So if you are taking classes for acting, it can be, let's just start off with one of the most obvious, which is acting classes. Taking acting classes to whether it be film classes, whether they be audition classes, whether they be just a specific focus on a specific thing. Some classes have different ones. Some are 2 cameras, some are 1 camera, some specifically concentrate on auditions, others concentrate specifically for if you're acting for film and all the etiquette involved in that. So it's really, really good and really useful, and that's some of the first things that we think about when we think about training, and that's classes. And I think these are a must for any actor, to always keep you moving, to always keep you sort of working on your craft, and also keep you fresh as well. So when you have auditions, you're fresh, you've been doing scenes, you've been going to classes, you've been keeping yourself around that, and you've been keeping yourself working well. That's something that you always should be doing. I don't think you ever get to a point where, hey, I've taken so many classes, I don't need to take any more. There's always classes that you can be taking, there's always sort of different levels that you can be moving up, or even doing similar classes or doing the same class until you feel that, you know what, it really brings the point home. So classes are really important. Then you've got other classes that you can take. For example, you can take accents and dialect classes. If there are accents and dialects that you want to work on, if there are accents and dialects that you think will be required, it's great for you to take accent and dialect classes. And these you can also find videos on YouTube. You can also find classes that concentrate and do that. It can be one-on-one. You can also get group classes. There can also be courses that you can buy from the bookstore that allow you to focus on and work on different accents and different dialects. I know, especially for me, working with my North American accent, it's really quite a thing. There are some sounds that I just revert back to my normal accent. So for things like that, I've been working on I did take a class or two to help me with the sounds. I also have been looking at YouTube videos. There's loads of free material out on YouTube, and I've been looking at those to kind of improve my accents, and I am trying to do that and work on that continuously just so that I can give a more authentic one. There was one audition I actually went to that required it to be a Canadian Montreal native accent. I have no idea. I can barely do a normal Canadian accent, I think. So that one, the actual casting agent who I went to see, the casting director who I went to see, did say that the producer was specifically looking for someone who had that native accent because they didn't have time to have the training on set or have somebody go through training to kind of get the native accent. So in that sense, it's, you know, you never know what kind of role you are called for, what accent you are called for. I had an audition just recently which required me to do 3 different UK accents in one monologue. Thankfully that came a bit easier for me, but at the same time you never know when they called in called into practice. So it's great to work on accents that you are good at, accents that you aren't so good at, and accents that you think that might be useful. If you're in North America, then you need to be able to do a standard American. So there are accents that you can work on, and it's definitely great to take classes for accents or dialects to kind of work on that as well. Other classes that you can take are even singing classes. Singing classes are great because again it develops your voice. When I did singing classes back home, I did musical theatre, I did a bit of the choir as well, but the great thing is whenever we had to do our vocal exercises or singing exercises. A lot of them are transferable exercises that I could then bring into acting that I found when I was also doing my acting classes in the UK, that we would start off with similar voice exercises to exercise your voice so that your voice is coming from the right place and you're not straining your neck, straining your throat, and you're not sort of damaging your vocal cords or anything like that. And especially when you're doing it for the theatre, the vocal exercises are that much more important because you need to be able to project your voice and not scream or shout your voice. And then also when you're on camera, you need to not shout. You know, the microphone will pick up everything. So at the same time, vocal exercises when you're doing singing classes can be great, and you never know when you know, a role might come up that requires you to sing or anything like that. So all these classes that I've been talking about, all these different acting related ones, non-acting related ones, have all been just to give you a couple of ideas how you can tailor make your own resume, tailor make your own skill set, and tailor make your own training. Again, if you go to drama school, a lot of the times you do modules, you do topics, you do subjects which do focus in and zone in on movement exercises. They focus in on dialects and accents, they focus in sometimes even stage combat and fencing, and also many other things. This way, I hope these classes give you a couple of ideas, or maybe a couple of classes that you want to take, or maybe things that you are quite good at. You already are good at swimming, you already are good at tennis and horse riding, or you did a bit of fencing when you were younger, or anything like that, and it's something that you want to continue and pick up more and develop more. So I hope these classes give you ideas to kind of develop those further so that you can tailor make your training, do it yourself kind of way, and it's just great it looks great on your resume. So now you've maybe thought about, hey, I want to take this class, I want to develop that skill, I want to do that. Now it kind of comes on how do you find those classes, which classes to take. There are so many different classes to take. You can just Google it and you'll probably get a million results in like 0.0 something seconds. There's so many different classes out there to take, and especially if you're in a new place, maybe in a new city, or you're trying something new, maybe you've not taken a certain class before, you've not tried a different studio before, so you really don't know what to take. You really don't know which one. There's so many, you're spoiled for choice. One of the ways that you can do is quite simply just Googling, and you can split it, you can focus it and narrow it down onto the location, into the kind of classes you want to take, audition classes, film classes, theatre classes, anything like that. Just focus it in Google and kind of look at the websites, look at the reviews, maybe other people have been to those, and see what they kind of say. Sometimes the websites will give you tutorials on the actual website where they maybe got one of the coaches talking or introducing the classes, introducing the studio, maybe even a walk around studio, or even just testimonials by other famous people who have been there or other people who have studied there. So that's a great way to kind of narrow it down, at least at the very beginning yourself, through Googling. Check out the website, check out the reviews, check out the online tutorials of videos and testimonials, kind of get a feel for what kind of things they do, and that'll give you an idea. I know when I first moved to Toronto, the first studio I went to was one that I researched back in the UK. I googled, I read reviews, looked at the testimonials, so at least when I came, I actually knew this is one of the classes I'm going to take. So that's one of the ways you can do. The second way you can find classes on which classes to take is recommendations from friends, from other fellow actors, from other people who are doing those classes, and just networking in general. This, I think, is one of the most effective methods and definitely one of the best ways to find a class that you want to take. When you're meeting other people, when you're meeting other fellow actors, you're able to get a recommendation, and usually recommendations are the best because you've already got someone who is taking the classes, is taking them and has met the tutors, has seen the content of the classes, and they're able to recommend to you like, hey, I really went here, you've got that good sort of, you can take their word for it in a way. I mean, obviously there are times when some classes are good for certain people and not everybody likes the same kind of classes or the focus on the classes, but if you get a recommendation, you're automatically sifting through loads of the classes out there, all the different things out there, and you're able to kind of pinpoint and go and narrow it down to like, hey, check this class out, it's good for A, B, C, and D, and the coach is really good because they're able to teach you or do this, that, and the other, and it's a great class because it allows you to even do A, B, C, D, and E. And one of the first class that I did was when I sort of searched for it myself. The second class that I did was I met an actress on set of one of the projects that I was doing last year, and she recommended another studio to me. And we kind of got into talking into the kind of acting we're doing, the kind of styles we like, and different classes we're taking. And she said she thinks, you know, I really like this kind of class, and I liked the way she was talking about the class, and it sounded something that I could really be into. So I then went and met the coach for that class, and then I registered and enrolled, and I absolutely loved it. I really did. I went to another studio after that, and that was also a recommendation from one of the actresses I met from work, and she was taking classes over here. And I was like, I really want to check that out because it sounded good, and I wanted to just kind of see which kind of one fits best for me. So then I also found another great studio that I absolutely love the coaches, love the classes, and I really have been learning so much from it. And it's the one that I'm at right now, and that's also a great studio. And that's, again, I got that through networking, through just a referral, a recommendation from a friend. And these are classes that I didn't initially think of at first when I was at my very first class, but just by meeting other people and just being open to other suggestions and ideas, they can point you to a direction of another class, another thing, and hey, you can take the class, audit the class, maybe you like it, maybe you don't, you can go elsewhere, it doesn't matter. But networking from other friends, other people who have done it is a great way to do it and a great way to choose a class. So after having said all of this about classes, I think the last thing to really say is jump right in. Get your feet wet, just jump right in and take the class and see how it goes for you. And you know what? Tailor make, DIY your training. And I hope this video now, as I do come to a close, has given you ideas on the kind of classes that you can take, whether it be acting ones, non-acting ones, and also how to go about choosing your acting classes or choosing your classes and how to find them and go about getting them. And then again, the final step is, you know what, tailor make your resume, tailor make your training, tailor make your skill set. So really do sit down and think about the kind of class that you want to take to DIY your training. If there's any things that you are strong at, your strong points that you want to maybe even do more of, or if there's any weak points that you got that you want to fully develop more, use these classes to tailor make that training, to tailor make your training, and to give yourself that competitive edge, give yourself that extra edge over other people that you never know when an audition, when a role might come, and you're going to be absolutely ready for it, even directly or indirectly, because you have DIY, you have tailor-made your training. So just before I end this video, I just want to also encourage all of you watching and anybody else to share your thoughts on what you think. Maybe you've been to drama schools and you liked it, you enjoyed it, what you found helped you so much more, the kind of things you studied, what kind of topics you did, what you liked, what you didn't, or even just advice on going to drama school. Just share your thoughts with those people who are thinking of going, and those people who haven't been to drama schools. I'd be so interested to know what you're doing right now. Are you tailor-making your skills, your training? Are you thinking of going to a drama school? Are you applying for drama schools? What is it you're doing, the classes you're taking, the things you're doing? I think it's great, even for me, just like advice and tips. I'd love to hear your thoughts. So that way, by sharing all our thoughts and sharing all our ideas, we just kind of like grow together and give each other that encouragement and that growth that we all need, and extra tips and tricks. And you know what? One head or 10 heads is definitely better than one. So yeah, definitely share with me your thoughts and your ideas in the comments. So thanks so much for watching this video. I really do hope it's giving you some good ideas or just some extra food for thought. And please do subscribe to my channel. Do like me on Facebook, follow me on Instagram, and share this video with other people that you think might be interested in or are doing acting, or even thinking of doing acting and maybe aren't sure where to start. These videos can be helpful for them as well, just to kind of like, hey, you know what, get some insights and get some little tips and tricks. So do join me next week as well for another video. Thanks again for watching me. I really do appreciate it. I'm being Micah, and you be you.